Good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is September 28th, 2022. Good evening. Hopefully you're having a great week. We got a lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot to talk about tonight. It's going to be a fun night. I'm sure everyone received an email today. At least that's what I'm being told, that the meeting tonight, Local 1000's meeting tonight, they called off for some reason. I don't know why. I thought they were back from their worksite visits. I thought they were highly excited, highly energetic, and ready to talk about how great those worksite visits were. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you thought they would be excited, the Local 1000 Board of Directors. You thought they would be excited to talk about the 3-day board meeting they had from the 23rd to the 25th, where they conducted massive amounts of business and were productive, and everybody sang kumbaya and got along great. Hi. And you thought that tonight they'd have a whole lot to say. Where are they? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Where's the enthusiasm? Who's leading Local 1000? Put Richard back in. We'll get back in. You got to keep the faith. Keep pressing on. Keep pressing on. You can't give up. Now, a lot of people have been talking to me over the last several months. What can we do to help you, Richard? I said, contact me, 408-207-2339. Now, I admit I've had a lot of prank calls, a lot of spam calls. If you can't get a hold of me, then come on video and talk to me. I come on every Wednesday night. Everybody has my link on Facebook. It's not a secret. I put it up on my YouTube channel, Richard Lewis Brown. I put it up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. createexcellence7437.com. So if you don't have Facebook, you can always go to, quote, the YouTube, Richard Lewis Brown, or you can go to my website, createexcellence7437.com. All right. What's really going on with Local 1000? Why do you have to find out the truth from me all the time? Why is that? Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude? Say it with me together. Schadenfreude? Maybe somebody will read what I put up my post just now and you can read through it. Schadenfreude. What does that really mean? In slang, it means people get pleasure when they see you down and out and suffer. And we have some Local 1000 leaders who apparently like to see you suffer. Like to see you down and out and complaining. It's unfortunate, but we're going to talk about that tonight. We always talk about the money. 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally represented by Local 1000. Jail pay and COLA. Dignity clause will no longer be controlled by CalHR as the final decision maker. We'll be able to take it all the way up to arbitration with a new contract. Why am I the only one that tells you this? Because I'm the only one that believes in you. That's why. That's how I got elected. Because I made you feel, for the first time in your life as a state employee, that you were somebody, that you were worth it, that you and your family mattered for the state of California. And to all those people who have done things for me over the last several months, I see you loud and clear. I see you loud and clear. And I can't thank you enough, because I will continue to need your help. And hopefully you're talking to your coworkers. Listen, one person can't do it on his or her own. We all need to come together. Solidarity? Sure. Unity? Sure. Peacefulness and love? Absolutely. Absolutely. As you know, we're in the political season. I got elected by saying no politics, no political spending. We will unite our union, regardless of political party. And they were quick to try to rush me out of here, create an atmosphere of meritless, baseless, soundless allegations so they can, quote, try to kick me out of the union so they can continue the status quo of spending money on politicians when these politicians do not care nothing about you. Did you know that our former president, Yvonne Walker, was given money from Local 1000? Not under my powers, not under my leadership. Did you know that? You say, well, how much money was it? No one knows for sure. They won't show you the financials. Did she win her retiree CalPERS seat? Somebody look it up online right now. Maybe they made the announcement that she won. I don't know. Did you know that DLC 786 President Teresa Taylor got money from Local 1000 to run in an uncontested seat on the CalPERS board? Did anybody even know she was running? I didn't even know. And I asked that question. They said she won that uncontested in May of this year. And she's the current president on the CalPERS board. Did anybody know that she was even running? Or did she keep that secret? The same way she got the money. Let me show you an example of this secrecy. They sent out the email today saying, was it yesterday? We're going to have a meeting tonight for Local 1000. What do they call it? Straight talk. Ain't no straight talk. And then they told you, come on to Zoom tonight. And then if you want to live stream it or see it on live stream, you can watch it tomorrow. Why is that? Because they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to do a Zoom tonight and then they'll edit and splice and cut all the things that's going to make someone look bad on video. And then they'll put it up tomorrow. And so you wondered why all these years I said I do unedited, unscripted, unrehearsed, unpracticed videos. Because I am Richard the Real. 7 days to start life, 7 days to end life, to the four corners of the earth. I am here, I am here, I am here. 7437, the sum is 21, of course. And for those who are into, quote, numbers, 7 times 4 is 28 for the smallest amount of days you can have in a month. But you take 3 and add it to 28. That's the max days you have in the month. 7 days to start life, 7 days to end life, 7437. Just saying, add up the sum is 21. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you're into that. So they decided to not do a meeting tonight. And now, of course, I do Facebook Live. I start early. I started at 5:52 this evening. I open up my Zoom here at 6:30. Someone has time on their hands. And they wanted to let me know what Annika Walls, the VP of Organizing Representation, what she was saying last night. Well, let's go through it really quickly. Not much to go through because she's not going to tell you anything. Here we go. Marcus Gallagher questioned why SEIU is so quick to decide not to go to arbitration. He asked, why don't we go to a second level grievance? Well, the second level grievance would be way before the arbitration. He also asked, why wasn't he informed of change in the union rep? To be direct, Annika's answer was all over the place. Of course, because she, of course, is the queen of being duplicitous in many people's eyes. Duplicitous, look it up. Duplicitous could be synonymous with Annika's behavior her whole life. It could be. It could be. Duplicitous. Two-timing. Double dealing. Shady. Not trustworthy. So then it says, she began by saying, not to make excuses, but I'm just telling you how it is. Wait a minute. Not making excuses? You're just telling it how it is? No, Annika Walls. Those are my words. Stop copying. Practice your own verbiage. All right. She said costs money and that only solid cases we know we can win will go to arbitration and second level grievance. Marcus disagreed with her. She said this union member and nurse practitioner needed to be heard. Marcus replied, after the experienced union member decided not to be a union member for, she felt union does not do anything and nurse practitioners belong with doctors union. No, I agree. This is what this person sent me. Let me say this to you. Life is unpredictable. And if you only go into cases that you think you can win, you know what you sound like? You lack faith. You are totally disrespecting those who have paid your money religiously every month for every year they've been part of state service. And what it really tells me is when you say you're only taking cases that you know you can win, what you're saying is you support the status quo. And what you're really saying is, you're a local SEIU International. That's what you're really saying. You're a slave entertaining in unity for SEIU International. That's what you're saying. I'm nobody's slave. Now, my ancestors were slaves, but I'm nobody's slave today. But that's what Annika Walls is saying. And to anybody out there who wants to talk to me, if you can't reach me by phone, if I miss your phone call because of all the spam calls I get, come on Zoom and ask me anything. You can ask me anything on Zoom. Can I always give you the answer you're looking for? No, because I'm not perfect. But you can't doubt my sincerity. Let's move on. But this problem of your case is not being grieved, not being properly grieved, not going to arbitration after a person pays their money, that has to stop. And it will stop. Get me back in office, I guarantee you it will stop. So here's something else that Annika said to a person named Teresa Swift. Well, we had a delegation go to Washington earlier this year. She mentioned the names Eric, Bobby Roy, Dalton, Irene Green, Unit 17 bunk chair, that would be Vanessa C. Strong, and others. She talked about a corrections advocacy group who suggested they go to Norway. They went to learn the Norway model. So she deflects. That's what she does. She does a really great job of it. Deflects, duplicitous, never tells you the truth, never answers you, but yet she's supposed to be in charge of organizing and representation. They went to learn the Norway model. I've taken too many calls. If you want to learn about something and you want to be cost effective, do Zoom. If you want to learn about Norway, do Zoom and save our money for grievances. Because that's what our people are paying for. Our people are not paying to send you on vacation to Norway. We're not paying you to take a European vacation. You can learn about that on a video. But can you first learn how to, quote, enforce your current contract? Can you learn that? Can you do that first? Just saying, I don't know. Again, here comes Annika, speaking in generalities such as, this is a great beginning, a great bargaining to go to Norway. Well, I bet it is. So Annika, do you need to go back to Norway to get some more education? So that'd be the second step in the process of getting a great contract? And then you have to go back a third time and a fourth time to make sure you got it right? Okay. Just saying. So then she says, the same people who went to Washington went to Norway. So the same people who stole money from the liquor store stole money from your house. All right, fair enough. She said members from other countries went to Norway in this conference from Spain and other countries, including unions in the U.S. Well, that's great for them. Did they lose 2 days of pay? for a whole fiscal period? Were they furloughed back in the day, the furlough fiasco for 3 days? Did they give up money for a signed contract in 2010? Did those unions give up under a signed contract in 2010 another day's pay in 2012? Did they? Are they part of the fourth largest economy on earth? Are they? After a long-winded soliloquy, Teresa asked, Teresa, it's got to be Teresa. All right, was the money for the trip calendared before the board? No. Was it budgeted? No. Teresa remarked on how when she was a CSEA, how when she was a CSEA, large expenditures had to be budgeted and a vote taken. Yes. Teresa goes back many, many years. I don't know who she is, but she goes way back. Now remember, they were so mad at me, financial malfeasance. I took money and I was fighting for Lassen County. And we'll continue to fight for Lassen County because those are state employees represented by Local 1000 under a signed contract. Remember we had the rally August 27, 2021? And they said, oh, that's wrong? Was it? Maybe we would have had a rally in Norway for the Norway inmates because they were being treated unfairly. You know, maybe that would have been better to have a European rally. Let me break this down for you. You going to Norway to learn how to do prisons, how to run prisons is outside your scope of practice. But more you think about this, I thought we were Americans. I thought we led by example. I didn't think nobody else could tell us what to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was born in the wrong country. Or maybe this country is not what it's cracked up to be. I don't know. I'm just saying, I served the country, did you? Before you call and say anything, did you serve the country? Are you a veteran? Because if you did, then you can call and get at me. But if you didn't, don't call me. All right, moving on. But the money wasn't budgeted for the Norway vacation. But Annika replied, the executive committee approved the trip. The executive committee? I thought I was still part of the executive committee. I didn't approve that trip. They said, oh, well, you know, we suspended you. You don't have a voice right now. All right. So this is how I said that. They said, we suspended you. You don't have a voice. But the people put me in this position to have a voice from, quote, after I was sworn in on June 27, 2021 to June 30th, 2024. So regardless of what you say about me, regardless of how you demonize me, people will always refer to me as president until June 30th, 2024. They always will. No matter what you do to me, no matter what you say about me. Because the truth about what you're doing is coming out. And what they're finding out is the black guy from Missouri, that sometimes says things are racial, well, maybe the black guy is right. I've been right my whole life. I was created for this position. Moving on. Annika said, she also said the money will be reimbursed. Our money paid for that trip to Norway. They said, well, the One Voice group, the advocacy group, they paid for everything. Well, where did they get their money from? SEIU International. Where does SEIU International get their money? Where did they get their money? From locals. We're one of the locals. I'll take it a step further real quick. They talk about the resource agreement, about, you know, SEIU International, they're so concerned about us. You know, they're going to help us build membership. Up to $1 million worth they're going to give us. You're not giving us anything, SEIU International. You're returning money we've already paid you. We paid you $688,000 a month. So you're giving us less than 2 months of money back. And thank you to the person that has made that quite clear to me. They're not doing anything for us. They're returning money we've already sent them. So Annika adds about the Norway trip. No staffers were allowed on the trip as in previous delegations. So? Okay, so I'm getting a text. Please tell me the link for the Zoom call this evening. Oh, I forgot to give her the link. So, if someone can reach out to DMV, because I'm live right now, she probably doesn't realize she needs to go on Facebook and catch the Zoom link. So if someone could reach out to Jackie Pace and give her the Zoom link, I would greatly appreciate it. She's at DMV. All right. Now, hold on one moment here. But Annika tries to act like it's a big deal. Staff wasn't allowed to go on this trip. Who cares? You shouldn't have gone to begin with. Recycling our money. What's another term for that? I would say hustling. Hustling your money. Manipulating your money. But, you know, that's just me. Annika also commented on how much they learned and would be valuable in bargaining. She provided no specifics, but kept repeating the same message on how important the trip was for bargaining. She's lying through her teeth. How can you bargain? What, have they told you what they're not willing to accept in bargaining? They haven't. Why haven't they told you? Because the state hasn't told them what to say. The state doesn't control what I say. Let me say that for you again. The state of California does not control what I say. But it controls what some of the leaders of Local 1000, especially the executive committee, what they say. The 3 vice presidents and this DLC president, 744 Billy Hall. Then, it says here, Annika's reply is a direct contradiction with Roxy Walker. Roxy Walker asked, why was any SEIU money used in the trip to Norway? In the conversation with Roxy, she replied no to any SEIU funds being used. Here she admitted Local 1000 fronted the money for the Norway trip. Yes, she got caught lying. Because we paid for the trip. Whether you want to pay for it directly or indirectly. And from what I was hearing, we paid for that trip. We do have to be reimbursed. Because they got caught. And so now they're trying to get the money back. So that's why they came out with that email saying one voice paid for everything. If you think I'm lying, ask them for the financial records. Tell them to prove it. And don't be backdating anything. They won't be able to. So, that being said, all right, hold on one moment here. Here's some more stuff that she said. Annika replied, well, the goal was very much connected to bargaining and the conversation was very viable. She ended by saying, I don't know how much money was spent. So you took a trip of European vacation to Norway, you and some others in Local 1000. You don't know how much it costs? Off our money. But yet you accuse me of financial malfeasance and of me abusing staff and not talking to you and not including you on everything because you don't know your roles and responsibilities per the policy file, but yet you took a trip off our money. Annika Walls. And then you wonder why these people won't come on video with me. So Teresa asked her, can you tell me how much was spent on flights and hotels? Annika's replied, I can't tell you how much the others spent on flights, but I can tell you mine. She went on about the value of the trip. No specifics. So she said, I can tell you how much I spent, but yet she won't tell you. How do I know this to be accurate? Remember when they were questioning me about my credit card charges for me starching on my shirts? And they had a problem with that? And I put up all the credit card receipts, and I said from now on, every month the credit card receipts will go up. You ain't seen no credit card receipt go up since then, since either November or December. And you'll never see them ever again. But I'm the one that was spending money wrong. I really wish for once people would get together and follow my lead. I can take you where the money is. I can take you there and we can grab this money. We can collectively work together, organize, strategize, and get the money. This ain't complicated. They want me to give you all the answers so they can run back and do like I say, and then they take the credit for it. I'm sure Annika Wall spent a lot on that credit card going to Norway. No, they're spending money on these credit cards and it's going unchecked. David Jimenez, Annika Walls, Irene Green, it's a $5,000 a month credit card. I see you staff on here. You know I'm telling the truth. But yet they said that I was the one that had financial malfeasance. That was an absolute lie. And if they will continue to lie to you and lie to you and lie to you, they told you that I should go to the board meetings. Those illegal board meetings. They've been lying and lying and lying to you. And you'll never see the receipts. You'll never see those receipts. Here's something else she said. Drum roll, Annika replied, I think it was about $2,500. She added the flights and the hotels will be reimbursed by the advocacy group. Advocacy group. I think about $2,500. Show us the receipts. But you won't. Because what you'll find out is different people were doing different things. Some people may have flown first class. Some may have flown coach. You don't know how they, quote, took that trip to Norway. If I'm taking a trip that far, I'm going first class. Not on your money, though. Let me make sure I say that. My own money, not your money. But I imagine some people flew over there on first class off your money. And then they'll come back and tell you how much it was so important they learned the Norway model when they can't even tell you why they're trying to run the duly elected president out of office. Other than lie and connive. Teresa asked if SIU money is being fronted. Aren't there certain procedures, bylaws, or approvals to be followed? She questioned the educational usefulness and suddenness of the trip. Teresa said the planning for this trip sounded like it was done on the fly. Teresa? No, it wasn't. They knew all along what they were going to do. Why do you think they rushed to get me out of office? And they're trying to rush to keep me out of office. No, that wasn't no spur of the moment. They knew what they were doing. Annika cheerfully replied with her favorite line, elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. So the consequence is, I won the election, Annika Walls. But you can't handle the consequences. And like I said earlier in this video, your duplicitous, lying, conniving nature always comes out in those videos. You should stop doing videos. You really should. You should actually listen to Kevin Miniger on this one. Don't do any more videos, Annika, because you're killing yourself. You can't do videos and really answer questions direct and to the point because the lying spirit is inside of you. That's what you were created to do. You should take a pass and walk away from this. I'm trying to help you out. Because you're killing yourself. Elections have consequences, and that the trip was approved by the executive committee. Let me tell you about the executive committee. These three vice presidents and Billy Hall, they're fighting among themselves. David said he didn't approve of the trip. So if David didn't approve of the trip, but Annika says he did approve of the trip, is that why Annika is now very chummy with Billy? Who's friends with who on this executive committee? They're not working together. What they do is they tell you what you want to hear. And they're lying to you like a child lies to you about taking a cookie out the cookie jar. Who took the cookie out the cookie jar? The kid. Oh, I don't know. A ghost took it out. Moving on here. Teresa said to her, this is not a fair comment. Now deciding what color to paint a door, yes, but not when fronting large amounts of union members' money. She asked if the treasurer had an open ledger account. He doesn't. Annika said she does not know what treasurer does, but the budget should be available in December. Annika ended the call by saying thank you. Yeah. Patricia Costa asked, why were the motions voted in the executive committee and not in the BOD? Listen to this. This is just me reading this for the first time. I told you they'll never do things out in the open for you. They'll never do a roll call vote, so they'll be accountable for how they voted. These are liars, some of them on the board. Some of the people on the board are liars, and they never want to be held accountable for their actions, and they don't want to tell you anything. And they don't want you having a voice in those BOD meetings. When I did it, you were able to come and express yourself. And they don't want you talking because in their minds, you're not good enough for them. They run the union. This is not a member-run union. This is a little special group of guys and girls with their little friends and allies. They run it. That's the status quo of Local 1000. A social justice organization and a financial aqueduct for the Democratic Party. Annika went to her elections have consequences comment. Patricia said, okay, but the outcome of the policy file members have consequences for every union member, like the one for stewards. Annika replied, well, I can't say anything. It was done in the executive committee, or I might get in trouble. Now, Annika's right about that. She can't talk about what happens in the executive committee. That's why they go into executive committee, so that they don't have to tell you anything. And remember when I did the UAW 2350 contract, and they forced me into executive committee, and I wanted it to be out in the open? Do you remember that on August 30th, 2021? These people don't care about you. They never have. Some of these people, not all of them. You have some good people on the board. Yes, you do. But their voice is being overshadowed, and their voice is being silenced the way your voice is being silenced, because you have a group of people who don't care about you. They don't care about your spouse. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about you living paycheck to paycheck. The only thing they care about is taking a trip to Norway. That's what they care about. Talking with the governor. Oh, I spoke to the governor. I spoke to the governor the other day. What the hell did you get? Some lip service? You ain't got no central worker premium pay for all of us. You're not doing anything. You're not a fighter because the fight's not in you. But you'll muster the courage to fight me. And fighting me is fighting the voice of membership. That's what you're doing. And that's why these other unions are laughing at you. They don't respect you, these other unions. No, they don't. So I'm looking through here. Summary, the Norway trip is an opportunity to reclaim the election and the tip of the iceberg for what I believe are nefarious actions. Personal opinion, I do not want to bear false witness, but I do not want to brainstorm, strategize in front of Facebook and others, aka Annika, Billy, and whoever. Lying in a court of law will guarantee a loss of credibility and the truth prevailing. I have seen it. This SEIU Executive Committee, Local 1000 Executive Committee, if we put a good lawyer in front of them, they will crumble like a dry cookie. Heck, all we have to do is hire Teresa Swift. We're just getting started. I got a lot to say tonight. And hopefully people who call in tonight, you can be fast and quick because I got a lot to say and I want you to listen to me. Because I'm going to be direct with my answers. You don't have to guess with me. Someone said, well, how much money can they really spend without having to go through the board? Oh, I don't know. I think it depends on the issue. It's not clear cut. Policy file says anything over $20,000. But if you're running day-to-day operations, you don't need the board's approval. Well, what's day-to-day operations? I don't know. Who's interpreting the policy file? Who has the power? That's a straight answer. I'm going to try to educate you tonight about the duplicitous, the lioness, the liar, the double-dealing, shady, Annika Walls, and others. But she's the queen of it. Billy Hall, his lackluster, unenthusiastic, barely stay awake, Sleepy Joe, charisma, he's not going to help you. Now, he's gotten other people to buy off on that. Is he paying these people? I don't know. I'm going to say this to you before I open up at Zoom here at 6:30. If you sit back and allow these people to run me out of office, I promise you this union will crumble. I don't script my videos. I don't edit my videos. I'm telling you a fact. This union will crumble. You cannot tell people in this country to vote in elections, and then when somebody wins, the quote, special ones say, well, we don't like him, we're going to run him out of office. And you think the people are going to accept that. They're not going to. And I'm not going to either. It's a shame in the great state of California, the #1 state in the nation, that Local 1000, the largest public sector union for state employees, cannot respect election results. It's the hypocrisy. Schadenfreude? 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 Schadenfreude. I hope somebody who's German comes on this evening so they can say it. I hope she or he comes on. Schadenfreude. Look it up. You have to learn. You have to learn. Tonight you're going to learn some stuff. I'll go back through this again that this person sent me. They took time to type all this out. So I'm going to take time and go through it again. And then I'm going to talk about this membership application. And I'm going to try to educate whether you're on the board of directors or not. Because you'll never get this education from the board of directors. They don't want you to know. They want you to stay stupid and in the dark. I'm not having that. Not having it. All right. So it's 6:29. Here, let me go here. I don't see nobody in here trying to get it. Oh, yeah, we do. So I got one name. I'm going to let people in here. I'm trying to let people in for the 6:30 Zoom. And then we'll start all over again. And then we're going to go into this membership application. Because I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to try to read it kind of quickly while I go through this as well. To write up over Annika's call last night. And while they're not doing a call tonight, they're probably just watching me to see what I'm going to say. Someone said, did you go to the board meeting this past weekend? No, I did not. I don't go to illegal board meetings. Someone said, well, you know, have you heard anything about it? I hear stuff. I don't know if it's true or not. So I don't know if I put a lot of stock in what I'm hearing. So, all right. It's almost 6:30. Let the clock hit at 6:30. 6:30, here we go. Hello, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is September 28th, 2022. Good evening, everyone. Are you excited to be here? I hope you are. Hope you're enthusiastic. If you're a little tired, no worries. I get it. We're going to go back through this all over again really quickly. Why did they have the Local 1000 straight talk tonight? Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're unenthusiastic. Maybe they don't have the energy. Maybe they took on something they didn't realize they were not able to do. Maybe they're hustling and scheming and planning right now for something else. I don't know. They said they were back from their worksite visits. Did they do live videos? No, they did not. They took some pictures. Pictures can be misleading. We don't know what they're saying at these work sites. We don't know what those people at those work sites are saying to them. When I go to work sites, I run a live video. Supporters, enemies, people in between, they all come on video and they give it to me. Because I'm Richard DeReal. Now, if you're trying to call me and reach out to me, and I don't get your call because I'm getting all these spam calls, come on my video. I do a video every Wednesday night. Come right on here. Someone says, well, I can't get a hold of Richard. Come on video and get a hold of me then. Be transparent about it if you're that serious. If you're that serious about reaching me, come on my video Wednesday night. Don't be like no elephant or a dinosaur or some type of fox. Come right on this video and say what you have to say to me. Don't be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't be a vampire. No, come on video. If you got something to say to me. But you won't. You won't. Let me go here. So I put up a post tonight. Schadenfreude. 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 I put it on my Facebook post. Did anybody look up the word? Some people like to see other people in pain. We have some Local 1000 leaders who like to see us suffering, like to see us in pain. They take great enjoyment out of that. What type of pathological liar would that be? What type of pathological person, what type of psychology would that be for a person to act like that? Who would act like that? I don't know. But we have some in our union. It's a shame. The Norway trip was a vacation for some Local 1000 leaders. It was a vacation. They should have never gone over there. That was a waste of your money. If they wanted to learn about Norway, do a Zoom. Take that same money and apply it to grievances. Okay. So, forgive me, I hadn't turned my mic on my Zoom. Again, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is September 28th, 2022. We're talking about a lot of things tonight. Why didn't they do their straight talk tonight? Because they can't give you straight talk. Maybe they're just tired, unenergetic, unenthusiastic. Maybe they're hustling and scheming, trying to plot how they can spend political money without letting you, the membership, know. Maybe that's what they're doing. When I was elected president, I saw you every Wednesday night. I didn't make no excuses. But they're making excuses left and right about not getting you the essential worker premium pay. They make excuses left and right about why they had to go to Norway. I have this paper here where someone typed up all this information about the Annika Walls conversation last night. We're going to talk about it. In fact, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. I want you to understand something. All these false, meritless, baseless, soundless allegations about trying to remove me from office, and that's why they had to suspend me, is nothing but an attempt to continue political spending in this political season. That's what that is. They didn't like the fact that I told you the truth, that we was going to unite, we were growing membership, we was not being about the political spending, we were bringing everybody back to the union, regardless of what political party they were affiliated with. We were fighting, we had a great COVID agreement, not perfect, but remember, Governor Newsom wanted to vaccinate everybody. But we stood up to that. Remember, they wanted to close CCC, California Correctional Center in Susanville. They wanted that thing closed months ago. And even though they think they're going to still close it now, I tell the people in Lansing County, hold on. Because if you think that prison's really closing, let me tell you something I've never said before on video. They may close it the way we have seen it run under CDCR, but that prison's not going anywhere. Hold on. I think they're going to keep that prison open and repurpose that prison. Don't sell your home. Don't do it. Hold on. Be patient. Now, to people, I see people are asking me for the link. I'm live on Facebook, everyone. I put the Facebook link up on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, catch the link and come to my Zoom like that. Can you please send Jerry Lee Fisher and Ron Rawson the link? Thank you. Okay. People in Lansing County, do not give up. To the people behind those prison walls in the other prisons, I'm asking you to not give up. Under my leadership, we fight for your job while under a signed contract. Under my leadership, there will be no new contract unless it says in that contract there will be no job loss while under this contract for no agency, whether it's CDCR, whether it's DMV, well, what's the other one? Or EDD. And to those in EDD who say that your jobs are being sabotaged because they're hiring these limited term, under my leadership with a new contract, that will end. You say, well, how do we do that? When you bargain in good faith And the state of California historically does not, and they won't give you the financial statements on how they're running their different agencies. When they do that, and you should reach a legal impasse, and you take a strike vote, and it comes back yes, you shut the fourth largest economy down. And if you're not willing to shut the economy down, then you're willing to take the same abuse from these self-serving, egotistical supervisors, bad managers. You're willing to endure that another 3, 4, 10 years. That's what you're willing to accept. And if that's who you are, that's how your self-esteem is, okay. In America, you have a right to have a low self-esteem. In America, you have a right to let someone just trample over you day after day, year after year. You have that right here in America. And you have that right in America. As long as the wealthy and the rich have anything to do with it, they'll keep you on your hands and knees on a livable wage day to day. If that's who you are, then that's who you are. I have to respect that. That ain't who I am. Let's get to this article walls, and then I get to some of this other stuff. So the person sent this to me, and she's basically saying elections have consequences. She's saying elections have consequences. This duplicitous individual called Annika Walls is saying this. Well, they have consequences, Annika Walls. Why can't you respect the members who they voted for president if elections have consequences? But you can't because you're a liar. That's who you are. And you've been lying and lying and lying over and over and over again. So my audio is on my Zoom. The audio on Zoom is not on. Oh, yes, it is. My audio is on. Hopefully everyone can hear me on Zoom. So here, let me go back to my audio here. My audio is on. Can everybody on Zoom hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on Zoom. We have video but no audio on the Zoom. Okay, so hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know why. All right, can you hear me now on Zoom? You can hear me now? Okay, good. I'm glad everybody can hear me now on Zoom. I'm talking as loud as possible. We're talking about tonight why there was no straight talk tonight. Were they tired, unenthusiastic, unenergetic? Did they take on a job they didn't know they could handle? What happened in straight talk tonight? Oh boy. I am unmuted. I don't understand what is going on. Can you hear me now, everyone on Zoom? It just turned off again. Oh my goodness, y'all. Hold on. All right, so I'm good. Am I good on Zoom now? Can everyone hear me? Yes. All right. So I'm saying this on September 28th, 2022. I don't know what's going on tonight, but straight talk, they didn't have it tonight. And I've said this over and over again. Are they just tired? Did they take on a job they didn't know what they were doing? But you're not getting straight talk. You're real. And I've been real since I was elected on June 20. Well, I was sworn in June 27th, 2021. I've been saying this over and over again. If you're not talking to your coworkers about what they're trying to do, their vigilante justice about removing me from office, if this is how y'all want to live your life, okay. Okay. But it's not very good. All right, I see a hand raised. So I'm going to go to Darren, then I'm going to come back to what this person typed up, and I'm going to talk about some other things. Go ahead, Darren. It just turned off again. Can you hear me, Darren? Okay, I can't hear Darren. Fail to detect your speaker. Make sure your speaker's properly. I can hear you. Okay, very good. Okay, so. Okay, so hold on one second here. I don't know what is going on. Show task. No, I can't hear. Hold on. All right, I guess. So I'm unmuted. There's something wrong with my speaker. So hold on one moment, please. You are muted. Please unmute your microphone. Speakers. Hold on one second here. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Woo! It's been one of those nights tonight. We'll try it all over again. Like I said, I do live, unedited, unscripted, unrehearsed. And so I'm going fast and furious. September 28th, 2022. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Local 1000 didn't do the call tonight. They sent the email out saying they were going to do a call tonight. Straight talk. Where are they? No one knows. They're back from their worksite visits. What do they do at their worksite visits? No one knows. They don't do live videos. They take some little snappy pictures. We don't know what folks are saying to those who went on those worksite visits for the leadership of Local 1000. Nobody knows. But when I go to work sites, I put it all on video. Whether the people support me or whether they go against me, you get it live. Period. Where are they? Maybe they're tired from the 3-day board meeting they had from the 23rd to the 25th. Did anybody see the board meeting? I don't go to legal board meetings. Did they put up on Facebook? From what I hear, they didn't. Why didn't they? Because they don't want you to know what they're doing and what they're talking about. They want to continue on this idea of secrecy, the status quo from the past. Annika Walls, Miss Duplicitous herself, I got this long typed up synopsis from a union member. Basically, she says going to Norway was great. I bet she did say that. I bet it is great going to Norway. On your money. They couldn't learn about the Norway prison system that has nothing to do with our prison system. They couldn't learn that on Zoom. But yet they'll tell you they don't want to use your money to grieve your case up to arbitration. But they'll take your same money, fly first class to Norway. I got a lot to say tonight. So I see Darren's hand is raised again. So I don't know. I'm going to say, lower your hand. You want to say something, Darren?
Yeah, President Brown. Good evening. I know you got a lot of ground to cover. I know we just had a couple minutes of a little bit of a hiccup on the audio.
Yes.
But I do have a question for you. Committees. When somebody develops or gets appointed to a committee, what does that person get at their fingertips when they start a committee or become a chair of a committee within Local 1000?
No one knows. That's the answer. You don't know what they're getting.
So they don't get any type of budget or anything like that?
Yes, they do. A $10,000 calendar budget. Yes.
So there is a little bit of something that they get a chance to, they get their own little checkbook to spend on things that, not necessarily saying on themselves, but on things that they want to be active in, correct?
From what I remember, $10,000 budget. I'm pretty sure it's calendar year, not fiscal year, because we run off a calendar year. And when they spend the money, it goes to the president to approve. Now, currently, is it going to David Jimenez or Billy Hawk? Who knows? Because they're fighting among themselves over who approves what. So no one knows.
Gotcha. Well, no, and that's great to know. Because I mean, before you, what was there, 17 or 20 different? And that's, do they get that as just a yearly cutout, or can they go and ask for more money?
It's a yearly cutout. They can ask for more money. So let's talk about the money for a second, Darren, because I see somebody on Zoom and I want her to understand this. They spent that money to go to Norway, and some of these people probably, I'm willing to bet it all, flew first class. But yet they won't take money to fight for people regarding their grievances. They will not do that. They say, if it doesn't look good, we ain't trying to help you. If we don't think we can win your case, we're not going to spend the money to help you. Even though you pay your money every month on time for year after year.
And who's making those judgments to not take those cases forward?
Nobody knows. Maybe it's the Chief Stewards Committee if it got that far. Maybe it's Annika Walls. Maybe it's Leslie Uko, the director of MRC, URC. Maybe it's a combination of all three of these parties. Here's what I do know. When a person pays their money, they don't want to be told that there's no help for you. Because then they say, let me go somewhere else to get some help and pay my money to somebody else. Because when I needed you, you weren't there. And that's a fair argument. But we're going to talk about that here in a second. And let me say this about this money. They spent that money going to Norway. They gave the retired former Local 1000 President Yvonne Walker a large sum of money to run for the retiree seat. Even though the board of directors voted it down. That's what I'm told. And you would have saw this if they would have let the video be transparent. But they didn't want to show you. The board of directors voted that money down to the former president to run for the retiree seat. She got the money anyway. Another person on the board, DLC 786 President Teresa Taylor, was also given money to run for a seat that was uncontested. But no one knows this. But yet they accuse me of being financially distrustful. We can't trust Richard with the money. But these are the things that they're doing.
No, I agree. Because I had the chance to audit the Code Committee meeting.
Okay.
And there was a couple of specific people that really, really wanted to drive the point home that, in their opinion, spending sums of money on politics is the only way that our union can obtain any type of voice in the process, because they feel that they're beholden to the vote of the legislature.
Stop right there. Stop right there. This is a child, not you, Darren. When people talk like that, those are children.
Oh, I agree.
Because they think that the legislature is their parents and that Governor Newsom is their boss. That's a child. This is a union, not a social justice organization. We don't beg no one for anything. That's why you establish a strike fund. Your contract ends, you bargain in good faith, you reach a legal impasse, you go on strike. Period. You don't, quote, only have a voice by going in politics. Your only voice is through your strike fund. Period.
Exactly. So I have a question, follow up on that. Does our Local 1000, is it supposed to have some type of autonomy or sovereignty away from SEIU State and SEIU National?
Okay. Oh boy. All right, so let me slow down for a second. Yes, we're supposed to have autonomy, but politics doesn't allow that. Let me explain this for you on Facebook and on Zoom. When we have the affiliation agreement with SEIU International that started in 1984, started in February of 1984, it wasn't really love. Even though it's the love month, Valentine's Day, and it's Black History Month, it wasn't love, and it wasn't about, quote, fighting for equality. That was an agreement to control you so that you pay them all this money because they say they're going to protect you. Protect you from what? If you know how to protect yourself, you don't need SEIU International to protect you. But because we're part of them, and then they had that great war with CSEA in the early 2000s, and December 2nd, 2003, when we, quote, separated from CSEA and we incorporated SEIU Local 1000, when we did that, that's when we agreed to wear purple and gold, to support all their political agendas, all their political identities, to support the Democratic Party, to support SEIU State Council, and anybody else that they tell us we have to support. Now you see why I would never wear purple and gold.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, no, I totally get you on that because I had some there were some questions that were being asked by board members during the COPE committee hearing, or COPE committee session, and they were trying to dig out, because they were trotting out, oh yeah, we're part of this whole one voice agenda. I kind of said, oh well, yeah, it's kind of running over into how people want to Norway. So, what they're talking about is they signed some type of a contract that forces the local to have to adhere to whatever the one voice segment chooses to be participating in.
So wait a minute.
Local spending.
Hold on a second. So when I was elected president, I didn't agree with any of that stuff, and they were mad at me. That's what the former president agreed to. Now, when we talk about these issues, people on Facebook, people on Zoom, I'm gonna try to slow down for a second because it's easy to get confused. The One Voice is this political organization. You can look it up on the internet, the One Voice. And you see the person who founded it is a person that has a high position within SIU International. One Voice is just an extension of SIU International. That's all that it is, and it gets different locals to send them money, period. Now, the confusion is this, COPE. On your membership application, COPE, let me read it here. Committee on Political Education. So it says, get active in COPE. In addition to locals, political, this is how I say this. In addition to locals, political, and ideological activities, I authorize my local union to file this payroll deduction to my employer and for my employer to forward the amount to SIU Local 1000 as my contribution to SEIU COPE. That's Service Employees International Union in Washington, D.C. We get the money through COPE and we send all that money to Washington, D.C. Once we reach our threshold for the year, I can't remember exactly what that number is. It's a percentage of your dues paying members. If we go over that, they'll send us the money back. And I saw that come back this year when in 2021 it came back, I think it's $679,000. Okay? $679,000 came back to us off that COPE. All right. COPE goes to international. They use that money to fund their political agenda. You said, well, Richard, you told us $688,000 a month goes to international. It does. Because we're carrying their name. SEIU in front of Local 1000. Even though we are the Union of California State Workers. It's like McDonald's and their franchisees all across America. We're a franchisee. So $679,000 came back last year in 21. I'm the only person who will ever tell you that. You said, well, where'd that money come back from the COPE that people voluntarily gave that money to on their application? Or later on down the line. That money either got put into the general fund or into one of the three PACs. One of the three PACs. How many PACs does Local 1000 have? We have three that they told me about. Issues PAC, political issues. Candidate PAC, politicians. And Independent Expenditures PAC. Let's take this a step further. Three PACs that have nothing to do with the COPE that goes to DC. But if that COPE money comes back, because we paid our amount that was needed, it may go into one of the PACs or it may go into the general fund.
Wow, that sounds like an awful lot of recycling.
Hold on a second. It gets deeper than that. Let me say it for you again, everyone, on Zoom and on Facebook. Three PACs. Issues PAC for political issues. Candidate PAC for politicians. Independent Expenditures PAC. What's that for? Who knows? Anything else that they can put money into that maybe they gave enough money to the politicians or the Issues PAC and they can't put the word through those PACs, so we'll go to the Independent Expenditures PAC. All right.
Somebody can call somebody who's trying to actually ask a question about the Issues PAC, and they got bypassed.
No, because then I go to, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, Darren. I want people on Facebook to hear this loud and clear. Because they'll never be able to come behind me and out-talk because I tell the truth. Listen to this. Darren, on the membership application, let's read this. It says here, by writing my initials in this box, I instruct SIU Local 1000 to, in big capitalized letters, not withhold an additional $2 per month for what? Political activity. Now this is how they say this. To not withhold an additional $2. Not withhold an additional $2. An additional $2. If you don't mark this box, they're going to take out an additional $2. So if you were maxed out at $90 a month, you'll go to $92 a month. Where does that additional $2 go? To the issues pack. How do I know all this? Because I was drilling them on day one on June 30th of 2021. And what they told me is that first $1 million that went to Gavin Newsom, it went to SIU State Council to help Gavin fight his recall. That $1 million came from the issues pack, not from the COPE committee. Not from the COPE.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Okay? And I asked them 4 or 5 different ways I should have ran a video on it. I should have.
Well, who oversees that committee internally at COPE?
So, well, you have the Secretary Treasurer, and then you have the CFO. And the thing about it, here's where the confusion comes. On this is called COPE, Committee on Political Education. Okay, that money goes international. Once we reach our threshold, anything over, they return back to us, and we can put it in one of our 3 packs, or we can put it in the general fund. Here's the problem. In the policy file, the Committee on Political Education is the conduit for Local 1000's legislative and political program and shall. Now listen to this. Is the conduit for Local 1000's legislative and political program. It doesn't say SEIU International's legislative and political program. So this COPE committee will use money on politics here. That's where the confusion comes in at. It is easy to get it confused unless you really look into the money. Okay? Now,
More people or board members that will actually allow the question.
no.
Yeah.
Well, no. Why don't they come and ask me then? Why don't those same so-called people who care so much, why don't they call the real president, the president that was elected by the people, for his transparency, for his degree in finance? Why don't they call me? They don't want to know the way they claim they say they want to know. These videos are not secret. Everybody knows I do these videos on Wednesday night. I give straight answers. Here, let's read on here. It says here on the next page, be composed of members who are contributors to Local 1000's Political Action Fund, COPE. So not only can you be on the COPE committee, but you also have to contribute to the COPE fund. Okay? And then they try to get other people to do the same thing. And then they say, make recommendations to the board of directors on legislative priorities, endorsements, and ballot measures. Okay? Political action budget for each election cycle. Keep informed of Local 1000's legislative and political programs, including those of SEIU, California State Council, Central Labor Councils, Change to Win, California Federation of Labor, and SIU International. Okay, now that's what that is. I'm trying to talk kind of fast, Darren.
That sounds like an awful lot of shepherds to be servicing.
Listen to this. When I was elected president and I said we're no longer spending money on politics, they knew I was telling the truth. Everybody knows I don't lie. Everybody knows this. They may not like who I am. They may not like my skin color. They may not like my behavior. They may not like how I enunciate and pronunciate words. The one thing I don't do is lie. Because it's your money. You give me your money, I put it in the jar. You come back a week later, that jar is there with your money. They may have turned out my lights, turned off my water, and did a whole lot of other stuff in my house. But your money will be there. That's called a good stewardship of money. And in street life, when they give you, let me stop. When they come back for their money, have their money. That's all I'm going to say. Have their money. And so in street life, in professional life, when someone gives you money and they come back later and you have that money, you know what they say? We're going to keep you around. You're a friend for life. Now,
And just one other thing I wanted to close out, because I know you got a lot of ground to cover.
no, go ahead.
One of the things I found it interesting that we have a very tacit relationship with Robert's Rules of Order within our union, and I found it very comical that there are some people on our board that specifically are keeping brand new DLC presidents in the dark on what their options are. I mean, from what I've read, Robert's Rules of Order can actually be eliminated if we want it to be so. And, there's a lot of, I know that question was trying to be asked during one of the sessions, and that person that was trying to ask that question, they were trying to ask it, and all of a sudden their voice went away. So I don't know if they got put on mute or what it was, but there's some games being played by some folks up top that they purposely we went back to purposely keeping people in the dark and keeping them uneducated about what their options are, and that sounds pretty familiar, like a lot of other things that go on.
So let me say this. If people wanted to eliminate the Robert Rules of Order, then why don't they do a clearly marked petition, majority vote of the board, and petition who's ever calling the meetings? And that would be a special board meeting. It'd be a one agenda item, eliminate the Robert Rules of Order. But maybe they don't have the majority vote of the board to do a petition to force whoever's calling the meetings to call a meeting. Let's go a step further. A lot of people say that, we should just, quote, vacate this, quote, illegal chair position. Not eliminate it, but just vacate it and put somebody else in it. If you felt that you had the votes to, quote, either vacate it, put somebody else in it, or even eliminate it, then why don't you do a petition clearly labeled with the majority vote of the board and say, we want a special meeting because we're going to, quote, either vacate or eliminate the chair position. And here's the majority of the board that says, this is what we want. Why don't they do that? Why don't they? I've known all of these months. See, here's the thing, Darren and everyone on here and on Zoom. They tell you that I don't know what I'm talking about. They tell you that he's out of control. He's angry. No, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I always have. I didn't get this far in life by not knowing. What that tells you is there's a possibility they don't have the majority vote on the board to get anything done. Period. The chair is illegally created. I'll keep saying it, and I'll say it in court when I go to court one day. If the judge says, no, Richard, you're wrong, put it in writing. Does that mean it stops there? One judge tells you one thing, another judge tells you something else. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Either when you run out of money, I ain't got no money, so I'm already there, I'm out of money. But somehow, when the stop sign, listen to me when I say this. When the stop sign is red and it says stop, you keep going anyway. Then it says stop again. It may have an appeal sign on that stop sign. And you just keep going anyway. And then finally, it says supreme stop. And then you have to stop. People say I talk above their heads. You better learn how to catch on to me. I'm not talking above nobody's head. Use your common sense. I'm very good with my words. They tell you that I'm not, but I am. And I gave you a perfect illustration. They illegally created that position. They're running amok. They're spending all this money, and they're going to get caught. They don't allow the members of the board to speak. That's wrong. They're violating multiple California Corporations Code codes, and they don't care. Someone said, well, you can't even go to the meetings anyway, because Richard, you're suspended. Then why am I still getting links every time? I get links. So if you say I'm suspended, I can't go to the meetings, then why am I getting links to come to the meetings? Why do I have certain board of directors begging me to go to the meetings? So when people say, well, you can't ask for anything because you're suspended, that's a lie. If I couldn't get something, then why don't they put that in writing? We're not going to send you this stuff because you're a board of directors member, Richard. But even though the California Corporations Code says you're entitled to this information, we're not going to send this to you because you're suspended. Really? My court case is not over with the Billy Hall situation or with the HR1 situation. You're prejudging me. In fact, I never got my 15 days for the California Corporations Code. See, these people think I'm stupid. And people say, well, don't do videos, Richard, because you give out too much. Let me tell you something. I don't give out too much. No, I don't. I don't need no one to second guess me. I know exactly what I'm saying. They told you that I treat staff bad. Really? Then why does staff get a 14% pay increase over 3 years and get Juneteenth as an extra holiday? And they're going to get 7 days off to be with your families during the holiday season for 2022 if I was so mean to the staff. Some of these staff have gotten significant pay increases off of me. They know who they are. I bet you some of the staff is wishing right now I was still there. And let me send this shout out to Lassen County again. They say CCC is closing. Don't sell your homes. Don't move too fast. I do not believe, from what I'm being told, that prison is really going to close down for good. It may close down operating under the CDCR way of doing things, but I have a feeling they're going to keep that prison going, repurpose it, run it in a different fashion. Don't give up your job at CCC. I hope that message gets out to them, because they probably think I forgot about them. No, I have not. No, I have not. Let me get to this money part. So they try to quickly rush me out of office. I'm still fighting to maintain my position. Trust me, I'm not giving up. They gave $1 million to SAIU State Council on June 2nd, 2021. They've given out another close to $1 million, quote, under the guise of up to $1 million for the resource agreement between the executive committee and Local 1000, Billy Hall, and the 3 vice presidents with SAIU International. That, quote, membership thing, to build membership, that's really a political scam to keep money going into politics. Now look, they're having another special board meeting October 6th. They're not going to air it out. They're not going to let it be on videotape. And they're going to vote to give another $1 million, to this man, Governor Newsom, on October 6th. They're talking about, well, we want to do some more political spending. They're going to vote to give this man another $1 million. If I'm wrong, then put the video up. If I'm wrong, put the video up. Don't run no con game about, well, we have to go to executive session because it's part of our strategy. That's an absolute lie. And on top of that, you never gave the factual documentation on why you gotta call a special board meeting. Let me get to this, because I'm fired up tonight. Let me tell you something. They said Richard never got anything done. Okay. The COVID agreement, we don't care about that. We wanted everybody to be vaccinated. All right. We wanted CCC to close. All right, while people are under a signed contract, you wanted the prison to close. The people said, don't take the Teller agreement, the 50 and 25, don't accept that. You took it anyway. And you wonder why these people want to quit the union so bad. Why they've already quit. You wonder why. No, look in the mirror. Look at your duplicitous, deceitful, double-dealing, conniving, manipulative nature. Don't look at nobody else. Look at yourself in the mirror. Since March, they have had 1, 2, 3, including October 6th, 4 special board meetings and 2 regular board meetings. All these things are illegal because I didn't call for it. The 3 vice presidents were already suspended of their duties. That says it clearly on the suspension letter in the title. So they've had a total of 6 meetings over an 8-month period. That's like 2 a month. And what have they really done? It's more confusing now than it ever was. You weren't confused with me. I told you exactly what the answers were. You didn't have to worry about it. Everything was on video. Now you're guessing. Well, what's in the policy file? What's not in the policy file? What's in the bylaws? What's not in the bylaws? They don't want you to know. Is your DLC presidents contacting their membership and telling them these are the changes to the bylaws and policy file? Do they send those changes to their membership? No, they do not. Remember, 33 of these 51 DLC presidents never received not one vote. But yet they tell you they represent your DLC. That's an absolute 1,000% lie. They don't represent anybody. They don't represent no one but themselves. Alrighty. Let's get to this that this person sent me. Annika was Miss Duplicitous herself. She's asked the question, why is SEIU so quick to decide not to go to arbitration? Because they don't care about your grievances. They just want your money. If it's not a slam dunk grievance, they are not going to do anything for you. Remember, before they tried to run me out of office, that last February 23rd video I did this year was talking about the grievance process. Remember, that was a bridge too far. Then she says to the person, Marcus Gallagher, not to make excuses, but I'm just telling you how it is. That's my line. She cannot say anything original. She copies and steals and cheats over and over and over again from other people. Marcus disagreed, and Marcus said, wait a minute. She said, Annika said, this union member, a nurse practitioner, needed to be heard. I'm sorry. So this is what Marcus said. Marcus replied, after the experience, the union member decided not to be a union member, for she felt union does not do anything, and nurse practitioners belong with doctors' unions. Okay? Now she says something.
Move up some more. Thank you.
Okay, now she says something else here. Teresa Swift started asking her questions. And so Annika replied to her, we had a delegation go to Washington earlier this year. She mentioned Eric, Bobby, Ray, Dalton. Please mute yourself, please, ma'am. She mentioned Eric, Bobby, Ray, Dalton, Irene Green, Unit 17 Bunk Chair, Vanessa Williams, and others. She talked about the corrections and advocacy group who suggested they go to Norway. And I said this earlier in the video. You can learn about Norway off a video, not off our money. You can learn about Norway's prison system that has nothing to do with ours on a video. How much did it cost? She doesn't know. Did she use that credit card to live her best life off your money in Norway? You know she did. Have they put up credit card receipts since I've left office? I'm coming back to office. But have they put up any credit card receipts? In fact, I remember me saying, I don't have to review your credit card receipts. Remember, I put them up in November of 21. And I said, put them up every month. I don't need to review anything. Put them up. Somebody didn't want to put them up. They wanted to review them first. Well, why is that? Because they never wanted you to know how they were spending those credit cards off your money. I told you what I was doing. I didn't have anything to worry about. She also talks about, in generalities, it was great for bargaining going to Norway. This is great for bargaining. She said, same people who went to Washington went to Norway. So the same people who robbed the liquor store robbed your house. Who cares? Don't try to justify this. And then she talked about other countries going to Norway. And as I said, were they furloughed for 3 days in 2009 through 2010? Did they lose money in 2010 and 2012? The PLP? Did they lose 2 days of pay recently? I don't care about the other unions. I worry about this union. I did not get elected to this position off of other unions' voters. I got elected off your vote to represent you and no one else. No one else. And this is why they won't come on video with me. These people are cowards. Not all of the Local 1000 leadership, but many of them are cowards and they're liars. And when Darren was talking about how they use the Robert Rules of Order, let me tell you something about the Robert Rules of Order. I got off sidetrack here. There are some smart people on this board that uses the Robert Rules of Order so they can manipulate you and win the conversation. The Robert Rules of Order was designed by wealthy people who would use the rich people to run meetings to keep the middle class and the poor people at bay so that they can suffocate and silence the truth. It's not to run meetings more efficiently. It's to run meetings more efficiently so they can take from you. That's what the Robert Rules of Order is all about. When you have the sincerity of truth and righteousness in you, you can talk and hold your ground and talk to someone else and still respect them and still come to a mutual agreement at the end of the conversation. The Robert Rules of Order is not meant to help you. It's meant to manipulate those who are not intelligent. That's what it's designed for. So, Teresa Swift also asked, was the money for the trip calendared before the board? Was it budgeted? Teresa remarked on how when she was with CSCA, large expenditures had to be budgeted and a vote taken. So, that goes way back in time, California State Employees Association. The executive committee does what they want to do. It says the policy file, anything above 20,000. But it also says the policy file, day-to-day operations don't need to go through the board. I told you that. So what needs to go through the board and what doesn't need? Who has the power, who's doing the interpretation of the policy file, who interprets the day-to-day operations, that's who's calling the shots. And when they had the illegal board meeting, they transferred all the powers of the president to the chair, the illegal chair position. Now he's calling the shots. But he's a white man. He's a white man. So you don't question him. Or when you do question him with fear. You know, you're more timid. You're more respectful. You're more dignified. You came for me though. You talk stuff to me. When I had to get at you to defend myself, I was the problem. I was the angry black man. Moving on. This is a good write-up, the person that sent this to me. Listen to this. Alika replied, the executive committee approved the trip. This is how I said this. Then go to the board, the executive committee. Does she have the email that her, David Jimenez, Irene Green, and Billy Hall all agreed to take that trip? Does she have that email? I want to see the email. Yeah, shut my mouth, show me the email. From way back when, don't show me one now. That's just trying to cover yourself. And then, she also said the money will be reimbursed. Well, wait a minute. I thought the money never came from Local 1000. But she told the truth. Because we get paid for the trip. She added that no staffers were allowed on the trip as in previous delegations. So, she commented on how much they learned and would be valuable in bargaining. No, it was hard to follow what she was saying. She provided no specifics, but kept repeating the same message on how important the trip was to bargaining. So it's so important to bargaining to go to Norway. Is she going to go again? How many times does she need to go over there? Or will she go to Rome, Italy? No offense to the Italians. You know, how many overseas trips do you need? Do you think that's really going to, quote, help those behind the CDCR walls? No, it won't. Anything that comes from Norway has been pre-approved, already decided by Governor Newsom and Norway. We didn't have nothing to do with it. Not one single thing. So it also says here, Annika's reply is a direct contradiction when Roxy Walker asked, why was any SIU money used in the trip to Norway? In the conversation with Roxy, she replied, no to any SIU funds being used. Here she admitted Local 1000 fronted the money fronted the money from the Norway trip. That is true. It's our money. And like someone pointed out to me, we give them $688,000 a month, SIU International. International gives the money to the One Voice, a political organization, because the founder is one of the VPs at SIU International. And we give $688,000 a month. So in less than 2 months, they're just giving us money back for that, quote, up to $1 million resource agreement that we agreed to, that the executive committee agreed to, that they didn't run through the board of directors. So also, the money we give International paid for the trip. That's our money. We paid for it directly or indirectly. It came from our money. Let your head understand that. Then Annika replied about very much connected to bargaining. Conversation was very viable. But she ended by saying, I don't know how much money to spend. Can you tell me how much money to spend on flights and hotels? Teresa asked. Annika replied, I can't tell you how much others spend on flights, but I can tell you mine. She went on about the value of the trip. No specifics. Finally, she replied, I think it was worth $2,500. She added the flights and hotels would be reimbursed by the advocacy group. But I thought the advocacy group was paying for it. She can't get her lies right. And I said this earlier in the video. Annika, stop doing videos. Because the more videos you do, I can guarantee you, you'll never get elected again. Because you can't keep track of your lies. You can't tell your lies in an organized fashion. You keep changing your lies. If you tell a lie, stick to your lie. You can't stick to your lie because you have told too many lies to David Jimenez, Billy Hall, Irene Green, Ruth Albera, who else? Van Wynn, and too many other people on the board of directors. You don't call stewards back because you're not really the VP of Organizing Representation. You're just a figurehead. Because you're too busy trying to do other things and make yourself look important versus doing your job per the policy file. That's why you won't call people back. You probably got hundreds of emails that have gone unanswered because you don't stay on top of your emails every day. I'm not holding back tonight. I'm just not. Teresa asked if SIU money is being fronted, aren't there certain procedures, bylaws for approvals to be followed? She questioned the educational usefulness and suddenness of the trip. Teresa said the planning for this trip sounded like it was done on the fly. No, Teresa Swift, they had that plan for months. That wasn't done on the fly. They had that plan. They just didn't tell nobody. Patricia Costa asked, why were their motions voted in executive committee and not in the BOD? Because they don't want you to know nothing they're doing. There is no roll call on these votes they're doing. Because there's someone on the board, Stephen Alari, DLC 723, who do not want you to ever know how they're voting. But yet they fashion themselves as politicians. Let me say this to you. This is the hypocrisy of some of these so-called Local 1000 leadership. They want to call themselves leaders, but they don't have term limits. You have term limits in the state legislature and for the president of America, but they don't believe in term limits. We have accountability for these politicians over their voting record while they sit in those positions of power in the state legislature and in the federal government. Every time they vote, they keep a record of it so that they can be accountable to the democratic society. But yet, in this union, there is no record on how these people are voting. You don't know what they're doing in these board of directors meetings. There are no roll calls. When they ask for a roll call vote, they vote it down because they don't want to be held accountable. Repeatedly, in this document that was sent to me, Annika kept saying elections have consequences. Well, we can't tell with Local 1000 because I was voted in, stop political spending, and they're spending on politics left and right. You say, well, how do you stop that? We voted. We got the old person out. The first president, we got her out. I didn't mean to say old. I mean the former president, she had been there for 13 years. We got her out of here. We did like you asked us to do. We came out, we voted, but it wasn't enough. You got to vote again. You say, what do you mean that we have to vote again? You have to vote to get up to help me get these evil individuals out of here. You can't just go to work and come home. You got to tell your coworkers. You got to share my email address. If I send you an email, you better forward it to all your coworkers. Let them know that voting still matters in this country. It ain't just January 6th that's going on. You have that right here in Local 1000. This is a coup, vigilante justice that they're trying to do. And they think as long as you continue to put your head down, then everything will go the way they want. We haven't done a strong protest against this board of directors. Not yet. You say, well, Richard, take him to court. I need money to go to court. I need a lawyer. Well, let's go on your own, Richard. How do you know I'm not going on my own? What's taking so long with the HR 1? Don't ever ask me why it's taking so long with the HR 1. They went out and got an independent arbitrator. They're the ones that took it out of the members' hands. But the policy file, before they try to do all these changes to the policy file, the president appoints the hearing panel. They went past that. He said, well, we don't trust nobody Richard appointed. But you trust Yvonne Walker with the people she appointed. They went and got an independent arbitrator on the East Coast, Harmon LaRue. His schedule is constantly booked. And there's always scheduling conflicts. So it's gone on and on and on. But yet they try to tell you I'm the one that's causing the problem. I've never caused the problem for Local 1000. Local 1000 has been a problem from the time it was created. I'm just here to try to fix the problem with your support. Let me read to you off this membership application because I still believe in Local 1000. It says here, you fill this out to become a member. I hereby request and voluntarily accept membership into, voluntarily accept membership into SIU Local 1000 and authorize SIU Local 1000 to act as my exclusive representative in collective bargaining over wages, benefits, and other terms and conditions of employment with my employer. Let me read that to you again. I hereby request and voluntarily accept membership into SIU Local 1000. That's true. And authorize SEIU Local 1000 to act as my exclusive representative. That's a lie. That's a lie. Local 1000 is your exclusive representative whether you become a member or not. That's in the Ralph C. Dills Act. But I'm the one that lies to you. I'm the one that's doing things wrong. I ain't done anything wrong. Except tell you the truth. And give it to you and keep giving it to you. My story doesn't change. Whether you belong to this union or not. Let me say it for you again. Whether you belong to this union or not, whether you cancel your membership, Local 1000 controls your wages and working conditions because of the exclusive representative clause per the Ralph C. Dills Act. Okay? Now look, I may not know everything, but I know enough. And now it goes on here. I agree to abide by SEIU's, listen to this. Listen to this how it gets tricky. I agree to abide by SEIU International's Constitution and bylaws and by SEIU Local 1000 bylaws and policy file. I understand that my membership rights are set forth in the Local 1000 policy file, which is subject to amendment by SIU Local 1000 and in any applicable memorandum of understanding between SIU Local 1000 and the state of California, and that a copy of the policy file and applicable memorandum of understanding are always available for my review at www.siu1000.org. So the policy file is supposed to be up on the website. But which one are you looking at? If you're looking at any policy file that has changes from beginning in March 5th, no, let's go back. You see any policy file changes that go from October 16th through 17th, 2021, that's the wrong policy file. See, these people are liars, and they're going to get caught in this garbage that they're doing. And they're going to try to lie and manipulate and find little loopholes, because that's what lawyers do. They find loopholes. And what I'm praying to God through Jesus Christ, He closes that loophole. And you go through here, I understand that SEIU's Local 1000's mission, which is a political mission statement, and that it actively, listen to this, oh gosh, it's right here in writing, and that it actively engages in representation as well as political activities and issues of public importance supporting its mission. So they're telling you, when you become a member, some of your money is being used on politics. So when these idiots on Facebook tell you your money's not used on politics unless it's through Coke, they're an absolute 1,000% lie. That's why they had the Janus decision, because public sector unions were using people's money on politics, whether they agreed with it or not. This is the stupidity of some of these individuals on Facebook, and some of them are leaders in Local 1000. You can't wake these people up, Richard. You can't wake these people up, Richard. This is their intelligence level. They're so, they're trying to outfox everybody. Well, go to the chapter of St. John. John wasn't no fox. He was a man of God. On more than one occasion. I think there's more than one book of John in the New Testament, if I'm correct. Oh, I'm so sorry. I see a hand raised. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Mario.
Yeah, Richard, thank you for the information. We appreciate it a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
Look, I am confused. I see that when I hear lies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confused as to what constitutes the executive committee. Is it just that? Let me finish the question. I was under the impression it was just the elected officers.
That's correct. But hold on, wait, hold on, Mario. Ask one question and let me answer it really quickly, and then you can answer your next one.
Well, I thought it was actually only one question.
No, but wait, let me answer that first part for you. Hold on. Because I want to find that. The executive committee is the 4 statewide officers. However, with the illegal changes that they made, with those illegal changes, they may have added that, quote, illegal chair position as part of the executive committee. I don't know. No one knows. Right. And so you're going to run into problems with that executive committee. Now, if they say, hey, we changed the bylaws and the policy file and we changed it legally, and that the chair is not part of the executive committee, then okay. But no one knows. This is where it's going to get tricky on them. And it says here on Division 3, page 1, because the last legal revision was in, either in 2019 or 2020. So I'm on the revision 2019 page. Here it goes. The 4 Local 1000 statewide officers shall serve as the executive committee. That's it.
Wow, because in other unions, the board directors, the bunk chairs, or the higher level above the board of directors is considered the executive committee. So here in SEIU is only the elected officers?
Statewide officers, yes.
Oh, that's the key. Statewide officers.
Right, and I don't know with these illegal changes that they made, if they tried to say the chair is part of the executive committee. But here's what I do know. That chair was illegally created. And when they go to court, they're going to lose this case in court. I don't care what they think. They're going to lose this case in court. And remember something. you can't try to go now after I do this video and then try to go and change things all over again to make things right. It's too late for that. Did you vote for a chair?
No, but that's the other part of the question here. Statewide officers, right? So the bargaining number 1, 4, they are elected statewide, correct?
All the bunk chairs represent their different job classifications within their bunk, their bargaining unit. So yeah, that's statewide.
So I guess that's my question. My question, maybe synthesize a little further here, funnel it. What's considered an elected official? What's considered an election?
An election for Local 1000 is they hold it every 3 years, and whether it's for statewide office or the DLC level, they're all elected officials.
So part of the general, the elected official has to be part of the general membership. I guess is my question. I know I'm getting nuanced here. But Annika's like playing little games here, and that's why I get confused.
Listen, no, I know what you're saying. I'm gonna let it go. I have a way of saying things very direct and to the point. Yeah, but when people come and they ask me things and I know where they're headed, I'll back off sometimes because I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Well, I'm just confused. I'll be quite frank with you. It really when I hear the word elected, I get confused. When I vote for congressman, I know what district, even though it's been gerrymandered. I know what I'm voting for. I know what I'm voting for. My school board member or councilman or the president of the United States is not just Delaware's not going to vote for the president of the United States. It's all 50 states have to vote for the president of the United States. So I get a little confused when they keep on saying elected.
Anybody in Local 1000 that's in an official officer position was elected. Hold on. You say, well, if that's the case, wasn't the chair elected? No. I already knew where you were going. Now, their argument is, well, because the board elected him, he's an elected official. You cannot substantially change a corporation by doing that. I don't care if they're listening to this or not. You can't do that because you didn't give the people that ability, because that substantially changed, because what they did, they took all the powers of the president and gave it to the chair. So when the people voted for the president, they thought they was voting for a president with a certain amount of powers that could implement the 10-point platform. They didn't vote for a chair. And so you rob the people of their ability to have a voice. Period. Now, some people would say, well, the bunk chairs is kind of similar to that. Because only the D-burrs, the D-burrs for that particular bargaining unit can, quote, come together to vote for the bunk chair. Now, here's what I do see happening down the road. One day this union will, quote, really do a, quote, new change. And every position will be voted on by membership. Period. They won't have no more of these, quote, bunk elections.
Right.
And that'll stop that confusion. But the bunk chairs don't substantially change the structure of this organization. But any lawyer can argue and say, well, no, Richard, I disagree with you. I don't care if the lawyers are watching this. I have to read those California Corporations codes every day. The judge may agree with me, the judge may not. But here's what I do know. I'm the only one that takes the time to talk to you about it. These other so-called individuals won't tell you anything. Because they're being advised by the lawyers, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. But then use my words against me, I don't care.
Oh yeah, Annika was very afraid to say anything yesterday, so I might get in trouble.
No, she's playing it safe. But here's my thing. Annika, if you want to play it safe, stop doing videos because you're lying too doggone much. People think I hate her. I don't hate Annika. I met her husband. He's a black man. We got along great. I'm not going to tell you everything on video that he told me to do. Like she sat there and rolled her eyes. I'm just telling you this. It involved a certain situation. So I don't have anything personally, I don't have a personal animus against Annika, but she's a liar. There's nothing that she says you could ever count on. But she's not by herself. David, he's no better. He tries to be, but he's just more shrewd with his lies. He knows how to cover his lies much better. Billy's out of control. Everybody knows he's a liar. He knows it too.
I tried listening to him the other day on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I was literally putting my fist against the bed because I was just and that's where that's my next question that's going to come into.
Mm-hmm.
The whole.
Well, you broke up. I can't hear you. Go ahead, Mario. You have to say it again. Oh boy.
Sorry.
Okay, say it again.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know what I did here.
Can you hear me now?
Huh. I can't hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
They, quote unquote, Billy said they're going to, in a general newsletter, they're going to do everything they can to prevent the closures.
He's a liar.
Yeah. And then Alcoa last night said we're contracts now getting involved in just a bunch of BS, and I'm kind of going, wait a minute. These are union members who are losing their jobs. How can they cause so cavalier? How come we're not bringing the cavalry in to protect our union members' jobs?
So,
and, you know, and I know, I don't know, but it really frustrates me, Richard, because, it really hurts when you lose your job. Self-esteem, family suffers, everybody suffers. And there ain't no jobs up in Susanville. There ain't no jobs down there in Blythe, whatever. That's another small little town. And Gallagher just spoke about it just so casually. Oh, well, you know, we're going to try to find jobs around CDCR.
She's lying. So, listen to this, Mario. Listen to this. There's so much I want to say, but I haven't been authorized by certain people to just run amok.
God bless you.
Annika is not trying to fight for no jobs in CDCR. I'm going to tell you that. Second thing, when Billy says that he's fighting to stop the CCC closure, what Billy may be referring to is, number one, he never came to that rally for Lassen County. A lot of these so-called Local 1000 leadership on the board never came to that rally. They did not support me, period. They did not support Lassen County, period. If he says that they're trying to fight to keep it from closing, what he may be saying is it's still going to close, but it's going to reopen and run differently. And that's why I told people earlier tonight, don't sell your house, don't quit, hold on, because they're going to reopen that prison with a different purpose. They're going to run it a little bit differently. Maybe similar to how they run in Norway. And that's why I said that deal with Gavin Newsom with Norway had already been done already. And what they'll try to say is, well, we talked to Newsom and we were in this contract, we're going to do this for Lassen County for CCC. We're going to work together and find a pathway. We didn't find no pathway. That decision was made between him and Norway. But you'll try to sell it that you guys came together. A good con game. If I go away, they'll pull off a lot of these con games. They'll pull them off. If I stay here, they're going to have a hard time. And they're going to have a harder time if they kick me out of the union. You know what? They'd be better off trying to, quote, buy my silence. Possibly. And we'll find out. I don't know if she won her position for the retiree board, CalPERS board seat. I don't know if they announce it today or tomorrow or at least by Friday. I'm sure we'll hear something. I hear she was a favorite to win. But the fact that our union gave her money when I ran on the platform that no more political stuff. Now, I did say, when it comes to cow purrs, that's a little bit different. But in this particular situation, for the former president to lose an election and then go on and retire and then still get money from the union to help her run for a retiree seat, no, I don't think that's right. It wouldn't have happened underneath me. I can guarantee you that. No. Because she doesn't have a legacy of really, quote, enforcing the contract and helping people here in Local 1000. For 13 years, her legacy is not that. Not in many people's eyes. So, okay. All right. So listen, everyone. I have a policy file here. And when people ask me questions, I try to go right to it. Most of these people in Local 1000, they won't ever read from the policy file for you. Because they don't know it. Or they only know what they want to know out of the policy file. Tonight, Schadenfreude. I want people to understand something. Even though sometimes we feel like we don't care anymore, we got to keep fighting. We have to keep fighting. So sometimes when I do these videos, I feel like I'm a preacher. A lot of people laugh at preachers. I think they have the toughest job in America. Get up every Sunday or Saturday or Friday and talk about a spirituality, about a God that nobody's ever seen. And they have to do it week after week. All 52 weeks. There's our number 7 showing up for us again. 5 and 2 is 7. Or if you take 5 times 2, what is the 5 times 2? Is it 10? So 5 times 2 is 10, and I told you that 10 is the foundation for mathematics, which is maybe a reflection of the 10 Commandments. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But trying to encourage people is a tough thing. That's why the Local 1000 membership and the Local 1000 leadership, they watch my videos. How do you encourage people to not give up? Or to manipulate them to give up so you can continue to, do things that don't benefit them? I'm asking everyone to not give up. You want to text me at 408-207-2339? 408-207-2339. I haven't given up. They've tried to break my spirit every which way but loose. They've broken a lot of people who were supporting me. I'm not giving up. Take me to court, do what you got to do. Eventually the HR 1 hearing will come to an end. And then it will go to the board. The sad truth is we have people in this union that can't respect the will of the voters. And these people, 90% of them call themselves proud members of the party that calls themselves Democrats. And they're showing the ugly hypocrisy that's deep within them. Because they've been conditioned that nothing can happen for Local 1000 without going to politicians. And that's an absolute 1000% lie. And that's why I put on that post tonight, Schadenfreude. Because they take pleasure in seeing you suffer. And it's wrong. We're going to stop this madness, but you got to keep the faith. I've asked everyone, you got to email your coworkers. You just can't watch this and keep it to yourself. And even though, I only see a few people on the Zoom call, that doesn't matter. I haven't given up. A lot of people have. You'll know when I give up. You'll know when I'm gone. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to win this. And believe me, I know who the strong ones are. I know who they are. And even though on Facebook, I only see a few people watching me live, they come back and watch later. And people always tell me before I end here at 7:52, people always tell me, there's a lot of people that support you, Richard. We're getting ready to find out. All right. Good night. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Today is September 28th, 2022. Make it a great, great evening. Good night.